Hello everybody, it's me Laura again, and today I'd like to warmly welcome you to my video game collection. In this video today, I will be softly speaking about some of the video games that I've been playing since my last installment. So feel free to sit back and relax as I go through each of the games. So, one of the games that I was most looking forward to, which I have completed, was Resident Evil 2. Now, I have not played the original Resident Evil 2, but I have played almost every single one apart from it. So this was a new experience for me. I really enjoyed this game, and I haven't picked it up in a while, but I know I will again, to play through the story again and to do the extra content, like the survivor mode. So, as some of you know, I am quite a big Resident Evil fan. I think there's always been a Resident Evil game included in my video game collection videos, and I'm sure in the next one, Resident Evil 3 will be included in that. I have been looking forward to that game for a very long time. I think it is supposed to be released in just a few months, so I'm looking forward to that. So in this game you play as Leon and Claire, with two separate campaigns for each of the characters. So I shall read to you what it says on the back. A rookie cop's first day on the job. A student searching for her missing brother. A city on the verge of collapse. Completely reimagined award-winning horror classic. Play individual campaigns as Leon S. Kennedy and Claire Redfield. Explore a stunningly rebuilt Raccoon City infested with terrifying zombies. This is a one-player game, as most of the Resident Evils are, which is fine by me. I think we have plenty of multiplayer games to go around. This one was good, but I felt like I got more bored with this one than I did Resident Evil 1. I love Resident Evil 1. It is definitely one of my favourite games, and I really enjoyed running through that game over and over again, whether to explore the game again or to get the achievements. This one though, I feel like it fell short, and I think that comes down to the, in my opinion, kind of weak villain and the weak fights. I didn't enjoy 2 as much as 1. I myself am a fan of 4. That is my favourite. I know a lot of people tail off in their taste of Resident Evil after 3, but I love 4. Arguably, I love 5. I know not a lot of people do, but I like 5. And 6 I didn't really enjoy the story, but I really liked the online content of that, as I did with 5. And 7 was still the worst, but that's just my opinion. So for me, in terms of how I enjoy Resident Evil games, my favourite parts of them always will include an online mode. I loved Revelations for how much it really focused on that online mode, both in 1 and 2. So for me, I know I need to find a deeper interest or have more content to be interested in from the story. And I feel like for the extra content that this game provided, it was good. I will absolutely say that. But it was not as enticing to play again and again. So I feel like this game will be enjoyed further by doing as I have done, and that is taking a pause from playing the game. I would absolutely suggest this Resident Evil game to play. This game also did really well. I think this is one of Capcom's highest selling video games. I know that this one actually outsold the original Resident Evil 2. So this is definitely a crowd pleaser, I will say. You don't have to play any of the other Resident Evils to enjoy this or understand it. And I think almost all of the Resident Evils are like that. You can very much enjoy them just as they are, and you can play them out of order should you feel like it. I'm definitely going to go back and play this again. So, as much as I am a Resident Evil fan, I am equally just as big a fan of Devil May Cry. I have always loved the Devil May Cry series, and it was very good to hear that they were going to be releasing a main game for the series and not an offshoot or anything. So this is Devil May Cry 5, which includes Dante, a new character called V, and Nero. I have not finished this yet. I got this a little while back, and I am on mission 16, so just a few more missions to go. And I think this game is really good. Really, really good. I think I was at first a little bit frustrated from having to switch out from different characters and starting at the bottom of their skill set, but eventually you do get used to that, and I think that's what keeps the game interesting. The way it works in this game, unlike the others, is that for each mission you are given a different character to use. For the most part it is Nero, and you can also play as V and Dante in the game. You don't get to choose for the most part, but you do get to explore each of the characters fairly well. So far this game is really good. This feels very much like number 1 and number 4 combined. I thought it was really good in this game that they actually included several both references to number 1 and also a lot of different monsters from number 1. I particularly like 1 for several reasons. The soundtrack is amazing. The style of the monsters is really amazing. I like the story. I like the whole game. So this felt like an homage towards that. This felt like a very fitting follow-up from 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I very much look forward to finishing this game, and I would highly recommend it. I will say, as much as this soundtrack wishes to be memorable, I don't feel like it hits the mark as well as number 1. It relies on the same song too much, whereas in number 1 I feel like the few tracks it did include were very memorable and they really added something to each of the fights. Particularly Nilo Angelo. You have to love that song. But this is really good. This is a real treat in the series, and I would absolutely recommend this game, especially if you are a previous Devil May Cry fan. So I'm going to finish this and I'm going to play a whole bunch of other times. I haven't played the online mode of this. I know nothing about it. The rest of the Devil May Crys, to my knowledge, didn't have an online mode. So I will look into that. The next game that I have to show you is Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, I have never played number 1 at all, but I don't think that took anything away from my gameplay experience of number 2. I felt like it was very much its own game, and since completing this game I have looked up elements of number 1 and see how some of the characters relate to number 2, and I feel like maybe the game is best enjoyed when played in order. So I really liked this game a lot. It was very heavy on story and very heavy on character development and having a very vast, expansive, immersive world to run around in, and it succeeded in that very well. So I'll read to you what it says on the back. America, 1899. The end of the Wild West era has begun. After a robbery goes badly wrong in the western town of Blackwater, Arthur Morgan and the Vanderlinde gang are forced to flee. With federal agents and the best bounty hunters in the nation massing on their heels, the gang must rob, steal, and fight their way across the rugged heartland of America in order to survive. As deepening internal divisions threaten to tear the gang apart, Arthur must make a choice between his own ideals and loyalty to the gang who raised him. This game is just overall really good. You play as a character called Arthur Morgan, and his story is very good and it was written exceptionally well, as well as all the other characters that surround him. A couple of negatives in my opinion is that the online mode in this is, in my opinion at least, really boring and does a massive disservice to the story, which is so in depth and serious and passionate, and the online mode feels flawed and flimsy and like you could place it in any game and it would make sense, and it doesn't really complement the story mode very well. I think I played it for a total of 30 minutes and just never came back to it, so. Now I know a lot of people like the online mode. I know that a lot of people seem to really enjoy that. However, I don't. One of the things that this game does very well is its lack of hand-holding in its way of taking you through the game, but also its service of helping you understand elements of the game and the vast amount of things that you can do. And I think its progression in difficulty and the challenges it gives you as a player is very well paced. At no point does the game seem boring, too easy, or too frustrating. I feel like it has a very good balance of everything for each type of player. And one of the great things about this game is that when you're done with it, there are so many elements of the world still yet to explore. There are so many Easter eggs to find, additional content to have a go at. So this is definitely one of those games that you could put lots and lots and lots of hours into. I will say that the ending is not what I was looking for as a player, but obviously you can't please everybody. And I felt like that took away a small part of my enjoyment of the game, and especially the immersion and the character development, I would say, in terms of its pacing. But that's just my opinion. I know lots and lots and lots of people loved the ending of this game. Okay, so let's move on to the next game. So the next game that I have to show you is Monster Hunter World. So I started playing this just about when it came out, I think within a week of it being released to Western audiences. And I have never played a Monster Hunter before. I believe that there was a demo included of Monster Hunter with a PS2 game, and that was the last time that I'd ever played anything to do with Monster Hunter. This is a fun game. This has a super weak story, but a really, really expansive, immersive, gorgeous, beautiful world to explore. The monsters are fantastically designed. I know that a lot of them come from previous games in the series. One of the things that this game absolutely exceeds at is its online mode. You can jump online with other players to beat very difficult bosses and jump out very easily. Its co-op mode gels so well with the gameplay that I thought that it did really well at that. This game to me is completely unmatched by any other game in terms of its immersion, its environments, its atmospheres it creates, its smooth linear connections to bind those parts of the world together, and just the way these giant dragons and creatures settle into these environments, and you know, the genuine sort of fear you have as a player knowing that this random monster is just flying into your area and you won't be able to beat it alone, at least. And I think that eye rolling or sigh is almost something that adds to the game, because it relates so realistically to how the character would feel in the game. So I loved everything about this game up until finishing the game. And this game never ends at the end of the story. This game is done when you as the player think it is done. You can pick up different sets of armour to wear, and your companion, which is a small cat called Palico, also has different sets that it can wear. I think this was one of Capcom's most successful games ever, especially on PC. And I can see why, because it must look really gorgeous on PC. This game, in my opinion, is definitely tough. It is a difficult game to contend with, and you do solely have to rely on your knowledge of the weapon you choose and your controls and how you use them, as well as the items and accessories you can use to best fight each individual monster. So this is definitely not a button bashing game. However, this game is not alienating, I believe, in any sort of way. You do pick up the controls very quickly and very well, and that obviously aids to the enjoyment of the experience. If you are a player who really likes giant immersive worlds that really focus on colour and atmosphere and a mythical feeling to your video game, whilst also feeling like you're really a part of the experience, I would highly suggest this game. Okay, the next game that I want to talk about, I don't have a box to show you off for it because it is Warcraft. I got into Warcraft about a year ago. I had played it a little bit during Cataclysm, but I've been playing it continuously since last year, and I'm really enjoying the game. I am a big Warcraft fan. What I am currently tapping on is a Murloc mug. It's a blue Murloc mug. A Murloc is a small creature in the game. For this video today as well, I'm wearing my Horde themed shirt, as you can see. And I, despite that, do play Alliance, but I still respect and enjoy the Horde side. I think the main reason I like Alliance so much is the races. I don't find the races on the Horde side to be very interesting. I play a Night Elf Mage and a Light Forged Draenei Paladin with heritage armor. But my favourite parts of the game currently are the story, mount collecting. I love to collect mounts, and obviously as I only started last year, I am trying to play catch up. And mythics. I do really enjoy the mythics. As it is a new patch for 8.3, I have yet to give mythics in this season a go, but I enjoyed mythics last season. Games that I have not yet played and I'm looking forward to definitely include Borderlands. I really liked Borderlands 2. For some reason I didn't like Borderlands 1, but 2 was great, even including the majority of its DLC. But I've not yet played the most recent Borderlands, but I am really looking forward to playing that. I am really looking forward to Last of Us 2 when it releases. The first one is one of my all-time favourite games, And that's definitely one of those games you could pick up 6 months later, 5 years later, and enjoy it, I would say, just as much. So I'm really looking forward to that when it releases. I am curious about Final Fantasy VII. I have not played the original, but it definitely looks interesting to me. I hope that it doesn't follow the same exact style as 15, because I didn't find that to be enjoyable. It felt too dissimilar from my previous Final Fantasy experience, so I hope that at least it has its own personal mechanic flair and doesn't just exactly copy off of 15. As mentioned before, I am really looking forward to Resident Evil 3. I'm sure I'll be playing that as soon as it comes out. Are there any other games? Having a think. Oh, other PC games that I have really been enjoying include House Flipper. If you would like a really satisfying game, play House Flipper. The way House Flipper works is your mission is to clean and decorate other people's homes, and there's also a side part of the game where you can decorate homes and sell them. It's kind of like Sims, but it has its own flair. And you take this house that is very dirty and messy, and you get to scrub away all the dirt and replace all the items and put everything nice and tidy. So it's definitely a game where you feel like you've really achieved something by the end of the mission. So I would definitely suggest that game to you. I don't have it in the pile with me, but I also really loved Dragon Quest XI. I have mentioned it briefly before, and my love for that game. However, I wanted to emphasize on that in this video today. The gameplay in it is fantastic. It has so much nostalgia to it with all of the monsters and the fighting styles. And I'm a giant Dragon Quest fan, so of course I would recommend it. What games are you looking forward to? What games are you currently playing? I was thinking of creating a mount collection video for Warcraft, and maybe I could talk about some of my favourite mounts, which mounts were really difficult to get, which ones I don't like. Let me know what you think. I love fingerpad tapping. It sounds very much like rain. So that is all of the video games that I have to talk to you about today. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.